As a data engineer, my job is to create proper pipelines that produce the right data so the BI analysts can do their jobs. In this demo, I'm going to show you how I'm going to use Amazon Q Developer to troubleshoot a pipeline written in Go that is producing the wrong data. So I'm going to start my troubleshooting process trying to replicate the bug that was discovered by the BI analyst. So what I'm going to do now is to try to count the number of documents stored on Opensearch, but I don't know how to do this. So this is one very good situation where you can use Amazon Q to start your troubleshooting process. So I'm going to ask, how can I count the number of documents stored in a Opensearch index? Index is how Opensearch call its data. It's the equivalent of relational database and tables. So let's see what is going to be this suggestion for an Amazon Q. So I can use this command get index name, then /stats, and then there's, or I'm going to use the count. All right. So let me copy this command, and I'm going to use Opensearch dashboards to run this command because you have this development tools available at your disposal. Okay. I'm going to put this down, pass the command, and our index here in this case is called movies. So I'm going to run this command and figure it out the number of documents. So when it comes to indexing, we currently have 4,971 documents currently stored. So that's our count. So according to the BI analyst, we're supposed to have 5,000 documents stored. So something is actually happening in this process. Let's figure out in the IDE. So back to my IDE, I'm now going to run another version of the Golang code that I wrote for this pipeline that's going to print out the amount of documents that's going to be written into Opensearch. So for this, I'm going to leverage this feature from Opensearch called bulk API. So I'm going to extract the indexes and the statistics from the bulk API as I am writing into the database. So I'm going to run this program to double check the behavior of this loading process. So as you can see here, there has been 5,000 documents load from this file. And then for Opensearch, only 4,971. So it matches with the problem that we've seen on the console. So now we're going to start the troubleshooting process to find out what's going on. So I've done some preliminary investigation on the file that contains the movies to be stored on Opensearch, and I've discovered that some of the movies are using the wrong data format for the release date field. So one good example is this A Walk in the Clouds movie, no pun intended. It's using the wrong data format. It's clearly missing the year of the release date. So my assumption is that Opensearch is keeping all the movies that are using the wrong data format. So, but I have no idea about how to solve that problem in an Opensearch lab. So one more time, I'm going to use Amazon Q for figuring out what's going on and what to do next. So I'm going to open a new conversation window with Amazon Q. I'm going to ask, how can I solve this problem? So with Opensearch, how can I configure a index to don't skip documents using the wrong date and time format? So let's see what's going to be the recommendation. Usually you have to provide a bit of a context when you ask those questions. That's why I'm always using with Opensearch or with DynamoDB. That's the context that you have to set. So let's review the recommendation given. And it seems that we could use this parameter called ignore malformat in our index mapping. So I am going to set this parameter now on my index configuration to see if that solves the problem. So let's go back to the AWS console where I can actually double check this information. So I am going to delete my current mapping so I can work with that new parameter. So I'm going to delete the entire index. And for the new index, I am going to use that parameter on the release date field. So where is the release date field? Here it is. So I'm going to include that ignore malformat. Here it is, and set this to true. So my assumption is the default it's false. And this is a type of very unique and specific knowledge that developers wouldn't know upfront unless they are Opensearch experts, right? So this is not definitely my case. So that's one of the situations where Amazon Q Developer can help fill the gap of knowledge and experience for developers working in troubleshooting scenarios like this. So with that new parameter, I'm going to insert this new version of the mapping, and then let's go back to the IDE to run the program one more time. We've just implemented the new fix, so let's run the Golang program one more time. I'm going to clear the console, and I'm going to go run the main program one more time. So 5,000 read and 5,000 written into Opensearch. So let's just double check one more time in the actual Opensearch in AWS to see if this is the actual number stored there. So I'm going to jump back to the AWS console here, and I'm going to use one more time that movies that stats command that we've discovered before. I'm going to run this command, and then when it comes to indexing, there are right now 5,000 documents stored on Opensearch. So very quickly, we could jump to resolution from troubleshooting with the help of Amazon Q. Obviously, as a data engineer, it is my job to rely on those tools, generative AI or not, to augment my ability to solve problems. But this is kind of a perfect mix of the gap of knowledge that I have as a data engineer that I could use Amazon Q Developer to help me out for situations like this.